Hello, I'm Lauren, and welcome to Improving the World. I'm an international improviser based in Hong Kong, and I talk to amazing improv women all over the world. Today, I speak with Kissa, a Greek improviser based in Athens, and we are talking about two different things. One is this coming out of drama or performance school and how you have, or maybe have not so much, been prepared for the realities of the performance world. And secondarily, something that many people really struggle with, insecurities and this idea of failure. And in improv, we like to talk about failure a lot, but what does it really feel like, and how do you manage those thoughts, those crazy thoughts in your head, and what you maybe think other people are thinking? Billy shares very openly, and this is a really gorgeous one. I hope that you enjoy. Hey, joining me from Athens, Billy. Hi, Billy Kissa.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my gosh, so happy to have you. You are an improviser and instructor, and we're going to talk more specifically today to the young Billy, the young version of you, or anyone out there who's maybe starting their improv journey or is in theater or drama school. Well, or anyone. We're going to talk about managing failure and insecurity as you're going through this process of learning and performing. So,
how much time do you have?
We're here for 4 hours. You know that, right?
Good.
Let's start contentiously. How do you think that drama school basically crushes dreams? She says, being someone who came out of drama school. And how does it, yes or no, prepare you for life?
I'll start by saying I hope this is not the case everywhere in the world, but unfortunately that's the case in Greece that I experienced. Acting school did crush my dreams. It crushed my dreams so hard that this plate behind you is 100% usable compared to my hopes and dreams when I went out drama school. It was a great experience. Wow, these two things seem like they don't add up. But they do. It was a great experience. I learned a lot, but it's like I learned a lot about things that drama school is not supposed to teach you. Drama school is supposed to teach you about acting, about what acting is for you. Who do you want to be in this environment, in this job? Because it is a job. It's not only art. It's a huge misunderstanding that arts are not jobs. It's a job, and it's extremely hard because you don't work only with your hands, you don't work only with your body, you work with your brain and your emotions. So they don't prepare you for that punch in the face of, oh, you'll have to deal with your emotions every single minute, and you need a technique, you need to be protected, because you will end up taking pills and giving all your money to psychiatrists, because it's so hard to pretend to be somebody you're not. But they do prepare you about how difficult this, I don't want to use the word community, industry, maybe I'll say industry, about this industry. They don't prepare you about how hard finding a job will be, how much you'll be judged by people, and how objectified you'll be. My first audition, I was in drama school, and I went to an audition because I just wanted to have the experience. And if I took the job, good, but I didn't go for actually taking the job. They were looking at me like up and down, being kind of not impressed. And they told me, okay, so why should we take you? There are thousands like you. And I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that reply. My heart started beating, but I was so angry. I got furious. And I told her that, no, there's nobody like me, because there's nobody like nobody else. I started crying because I was really hurt. And I told him that if you don't like what you saw, it's fine. You don't have to like it, but you don't have to insult me. You can just tell me thank you, goodbye, and go to the next person. Why lose time with me? Talk with me if you don't need me. Just to insult me? I stormed out crying. I still remember this feeling of, is this my life now? This is what I'm gonna do now? So I stopped acting. I didn't like auditioning at all. It's not that I didn't like not getting the job. I didn't like the way they looked at me. Like, oh, another actress thinking she was gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that's who I am, because everybody is like that. So yeah, acting school crushes your dreams and hopes. and emotional state.
I think that you're right. It's also the industry. I feel like there is the educational body, which is theoretically teaching you how to live in this place and trying to set you up for success. And it is a very sometimes singular viewpoint. I don't know about everybody's education, but a lot of it is about historical important theater that's built to where we are, or diverse theater or technique. It can be very much about getting into the meat of performing, but not necessarily about how to have a successful career and use this knowledge to make yourself money and have a roof over your head and give you happiness and give you longevity in an industry.
Yeah, they make you competitive a lot. Even in this teaching environment, studying environment, they make you compete with your classmates, which is crazy. Because how are you going to learn who you are in this art if you keep fighting people around you? They make you not care about you, but care about how you are perceived by others and how to be better than others, but not in a healthy way. Like, oh, I want to be like this person and be better and make you stronger. No, they make you feel like, oh my God, they're better than me. I have to make them be less good in order for me to be good.
Which is so sad.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. So I want to steer us away from this because I could equally, like you, be mad at the way the systemic creation of that experience, which if that was for you, it was the same for me in California as it was for you in, where were you, Athens?
Yes, in Athens.
That's crazy.
I was in the second best acting school in Greece and they didn't make it. So I don't think anybody can. In Greece, I mean.
I did have some really lovely people as part of my experience, but I do understand what you're saying. As a wash, as a statement wash, I really hear
exactly,
you. Okay, so you come out of that, How do you not care about what others think? I mean, to be a healthy person and to try to be a performer, to really invest your time and energy and open up and be raw in a performance state. And as you said, go into emotions all the time and take energy and put it into a constructive context so that you can move forward. How do you do that?
I don't know. I'm really trying to do it. I don't know. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, cool.
I used to be extremely horrible on not caring. I cared too much. I still care, but now how can I put it? I still care the same amount, but I care about caring less. Doesn't that make sense? I don't pay attention to this part of my brain caring. I let it be. I keep it there. And I have this voice in my head talking all the time. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. I know the feeling. I know what you're saying. But we realize that it doesn't work. So maybe let me try my thing now. And I have this conversation with myself all the time. And I'm back and forth in caring, not caring, caring, not caring. But for now, it kind of works. I don't think I'll ever stop caring too much about what people think of me or about everything. I mean, I care about everything too much.
I guess the important part of this though is managing that part of your brain so that it's not blocking you creatively, right?
Yeah, maybe making it more creative use of this emotion. It made me know people better, realize why people behave the way they behave by knowing this fact about me and taking a bit of distance of it. Because now I can identify this emotion to other people and I can relate to them. I can realize why they behave the way they behave, because caring too much about what people think about you makes you weird, makes you do weird stuff, and your reactions are sometimes unexpected because you get stressed all the time and you have this thought in your brain, oh shit, they don't like me. They don't like me. I have to do something for them to like me. I have to do something for them to know that I'm good at what I do. It's very stressful.
Does that extend to teaching as well? Because you're an instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
When I started teaching improv, the first months, I was numbed because I didn't know what I was doing, which was pretty normal. But then I thought I knew what I wanted to teach them, because that changed dramatically, of course, after a few years. I started caring more about if they like me and respect me. In Greece, there's a huge sexism issue, of course, everywhere in the world. We are a very sexist country. So having this in mind too, an insecure person being a woman, having this in mind too, it's a double pressure. It was too much for me for a while. Even though I think that under these circumstances, I was a kind of okay instructor. I did care about my students a lot, even though I didn't know what exactly I was doing with them. But it was very stressful for me. I had this feeling, I was telling them breathe, because I knew that you have to breathe when you're on stage, and I wasn't breathing at all. I was so stressed all the time about I'm not good enough for them. They don't respect me. They don't like me as a person, which was crazy. I didn't have to care about if they like me as a person in the first place. I wasn't there as a person, I was there as an instructor. But the respect was a huge thing for me. I don't think they respected me as an artist, as an improviser, an instructor. So it took a lot of energy away from me, which would be useful to give to my students as an instructor. It started changing when I started feeling better about my knowledge regarding improv, and when I was more comfortable in how to teach, finding what kind of instructor I am. But I still have these thoughts. If a student has an unreadable face for me, I get in my head and be like, oh shit, they don't like me. They don't hear what I'm saying because their thought is she doesn't know what she's doing. I think I have the biggest case of imposter syndrome. I'm always in that state of shit. They know that I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you think that worry is part of the journey? Is that about being introspective and self-realization? Also just part of getting older and growing and living in a society and being on stage and being looked at? Do you think that's part of it and it's a wave that passes? Because you're talking a lot past tense. Is it something that happens and we all go through? If you're working on it and thoughtful, it goes away? Or do you not think?
I don't think it ever goes away 100%. Even if it does kind of go away, it leaves a mark. A lot of people experience this kind of emotions like a trauma because it's really stressful. Stress creates trauma. I don't think it ever goes away, but I think it gets better every single day. If you don't quit, it gets better. If you talk about it, it gets better. The good thing with this journey is that it makes you modest. I'm a huge fan of modesty. I don't like, what's the word for the opposite?
Braggadocious would be the opposite. Selfish, bragging.
Yeah, what's the word for bragging? If somebody brags a lot, there's a word that I don't remember. I don't like this quality in people. You may be the best person in the world, the most talented person in the world, but if you have this quality, I can't. It's a very personal opinion, but I think one of the biggest pros that I took from this journey was this. I'm modest with what I do. It's kind of confusing sometimes because modest doesn't mean that you don't know what you deserve. It means the exact opposite, that you do know what you deserve, and that's it. You don't brag about it. You know, it's a fact. You don't have to fight for it.
Is vanity the word you were looking for?
No, but I'll take it.
Within improv, we talk a lot about failure. People are often saying it's the first workshop, in these 101s you are hearing about that failure is important and there is no failure. All of this gets thrown around. So what do you think about the importance of failure, the accepting of this, and what's your relationship with failure?
We're really good friends because I do it a lot. I fail a lot, but I can't say that I'm comfortable with it more than maybe 60%. It's hard for me. It's really hard for me because I still have this everybody should like me thing. These two things are complete opposite. I work with it all the time, especially when I teach. On stage, to be honest, I don't really care about failure. I don't know why. It's the only place that I can fail and at that moment don't care at all. When I get off stage, I do care. But at that point, I'm in that state of mind that I don't pay attention to my failure because I move forward. Okay, let's do something else. Let's fix it. Of course, sometimes it devastates me on stage, but usually it doesn't affect me a lot. I don't know what's going on in my unconscious part of my brain. Consciously, it doesn't affect me a lot. But when I get off stage, I'm like, what did I do? Oh my God, why? And I started thinking all these scenarios. What would have happened if crazy. It gets better all the time. Every day it gets better. My students help me a lot with failure because I can see that when I fail, they get closer to me. They relate to me more. They trust me more. They talk to me more when they see me fail. I think I'm in an okay place regarding the years that I do improv, but it's a struggle all the time, because you fail in your everyday life all the time. And some failures are not improv failures. Some failures have actual consequences. So to separate these two is kind of confusing for me.
Okay, and I also want to know about, connected to this, playing high status on stage. When I see players who are especially new, I think that sometimes they're managing their worry about how they will come across by owning a moment and going high status with a character. They're choosing control and driving, and this can be something that I think comes from a place of fear or insecurity. What do you think about that?
I agree 100% with you. My first sample was me and then my students. But yeah, exactly. My experience was that I was always a high status character when I was performing in the first years, the first times I performed at improv. I didn't realize it until somebody told me, and maybe not the first time somebody told me, maybe the second, third time somebody told me, I started noticing that, oh yeah, my spectrum is not big. I have a really small spectrum of qualities of character, because I used to do a lot of characters because I was in acting school, so characters was an easier task for me. But I realized that even the low status characters were in control. When I realized that I was doing it, I was like, wow, good. I didn't know that I could do that. Having a low status character with a high status quality, it's weird. And I did it. I'm like, yay. But you could see that this hyperactive person on stage trying to take control of every single thing, it was pretty obvious that I was scared to death, especially to people that knew me. To people that didn't know me, it wasn't that obvious, but it wasn't a good impression because I was always a high status character. This means that not the high status character, but the reason I did it meant that I didn't listen that much because I was too stressed to listen, not because I didn't care. I was too stressed to actually use my senses. I think it's a pretty common thing when you start improv, if you're an insecure person, to either hold back or run head first to do stuff on stage. Experience and improv knowledge makes it better. I don't think there's another way. Just be patient and wait for the time, the moment when you learn more about this art and have more experience on stage and start having the time to think about what you do on stage. Because when you're stressed, you don't have the time to think, wait, is that okay? Is what I'm doing okay? Even planning beforehand. I won't do a high status character of this show. That's it. That's my role for this show. It doesn't work when you're very stressed. You make this promise to yourself, and the moment you get on stage, you forget about it because you're too stressed. So time, patience, and work. Just work. I don't know. Maybe therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy always works with everything, so.
I was going to say to you, do you want to share any words of wisdom? You sort of just did, but is there anything else that you want to say to the younger version of you or the improv community or anyone else who's listening?
Go with the flow, but listen to what people tell you. Not everybody. Choose people that you trust and admire in this art form. Ask for advice. Don't try to follow the advice. Just try to listen to what they see in you. Don't have a lot of trust in what your brain tells you that you are. Other people can see things that we can't in ourselves. So maybe listen more to other people say to you about the good qualities that you have. Not the bad. Don't let people tell you about the bad things that you have. No, you already know the bad stuff, the good stuff.
Have big ears for the good and throw away the bad. Okay, and if people, to close us off, are coming through Athens, if they want to see a show, if they want to come take a class, if they want to hang out and have a, I don't know what you like to drink, like a red wine or a Greek coffee or something, if they want to have Uzo. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just can't. With you, how can people find you?
Well, of course, Facebook is always a good place to start communicating. I work in an improv school here in Athens. So everybody can get in touch with our community through the schools, which is Improv, the school that I work with. But now we have another school in Athens, House of Improv. You can get in touch with the Greek improv community on Facebook too. We have a group. And we would love for people to get to know a very small but growing community in Athens and in Greece in general, because now we have a community in whole Greece. This is wow.
Amazing. Well, I'll put information below for people to find. And thank you so very much for your kind thoughts and your energy. It was beautiful getting to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I had a great time. I don't like interviews at all, but I felt so cool now. I felt good. I liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. This is Improving the World. I'm Lauren, and there's more where that came from. So, did you love the video? If you did, please, I urge you, say kind and wonderful things, like the video, do subscribe, whether you're feeling sassy or not today, and look for more Improving the World. Thanks.